Hey guys, what's up? It's Mitch with another video sermon. Just kind of going on a hike here. I thought it was time to get out of the house. You guys are probably feeling it too. I'm getting really bored and there's just nothing to do, man. So I've been riding my bike a lot. I've been going on hikes, just kind of doing whatever I can to pass the time. So yeah, today we're going to be continuing our sermon series titled That's in the Bible. And if you remember last week, Sarah talked about an awesome story. Honestly, if you should go watch it if you haven't watched it. I don't want to give anything away, but man, she killed it. It is about this person named Jael, and she does something with a tent spike that's pretty heavy metal, pretty disgusting, honestly. But it's pretty cool, and it's pretty cool how God ties into all of it. So yeah, if you missed that, go check it out. I hope you guys are enjoying this series so far. I remember back whenever Doug Congdon was on staff, we actually went through the whole entire Bible, and we'd come across stories like this all the time. And I remember asking questions. We would always just be like, why is this in the Bible? Why did God include this? Like, seriously? Like a tent spike going through someone's head, or just a plethora of everything else. There's so many crazy stories that are very gruesome or very like R-rated. And you're like, why are these in the Bible? But guys, once we dove deeper into those stories and we would see God's handiwork, we'd see God, just how much he was involved and how much he loved his people, how consistently he was chasing after them. So yeah, I'm gonna sit you guys down right here and we'll actually go into it. Cool. So today we're actually staying in the book of Judges. We're going to be talking about a guy named Ehud. And he was again one of the judges of Israel during this time. And this story starts off just like any of the stories in Judges. It starts off with the people of Israel doing evil in the sight of the Lord. They worshiped false idols. They practiced other religions. They just were deep in their sin. And they were just so far from God. So this story starts off with exactly that. They're completely far away from God, and God actually hands the Israelites over to this king, this Moab king, named King Eglon. And he's actually a super fat guy too, which put that in the back of your mind. That's good knowledge for later of what actually happens in this story. But yeah, again, we see this happen. We see this cycle take place, and during this cycle too, the next step is whenever they're delivered into the hands of this king. They're actually under his rule for 18 years, and it really sucks. And then with this next part of the cycle is they cry out to God. They're like, God, this sucks. Send someone to deliver us. Send something to deliver us. We just need. We need your help. Like, we messed up and we need someone to deliver us. So God listens to them immediately, and he sends this guy named Ehud. And what he does is pretty awesome. So the next part of the story is what happens is the Israelites give Ehud this tribute to kind of give to King Eglon. And he goes to deliver this thing. Another important thing about Ehud is he's actually left-handed. Another one of those things. So just keep in mind that King Eglon is fat and Ehud is left-handed. So he goes and he delivers this tribute to his palace, to King Eglon's palace. And he also brings with him, he makes a sword that's like really short. It's a double-edged sword, like an assassin blade. And the cool thing about this story is Ehud isn't just a judge, but he is like an assassin. He's like a secret agent. So anyways, he goes to this palace, he presents this tribute to King Eglon, and then at the very last second, he's like, you know what, I also have another secret message that I want to tell you. And that's kind of where we pick up in the story. So I'm going to read from Judges. It's in chapter 3. We're picking up in the end of verse 19. Your Majesty, I have a secret message for you. The king said to his attendants, leave us, and they all left. Ehud then approached him while he was sitting alone in the upper room of his palace and said, I have a message from God for you. So this is the moment that's like the one-liner. He's like, yeah, I have a secret message. You know who it's from? It's from God. Boom, and throws it at him. And he goes, as the king rose from his seat, Ehud reached with his left hand and drew the sword from his right thigh and plunged it into the king's belly. So guys, the reason he snuck this sword in was because, I mean, most people were right-handed, they'd have their swords on their left sides. So that's where they would draw it. But since he made this small blade and he was left-handed, he got to keep it on his right thigh, and it almost hid it from the guards and everyone at the palace. So that's why it's cool that he's left-handed, and that's why that's important. Now we're about to see why the king is fat and why that's important too. So he pulls the sword out, he stabs it into him, and this is what it says. Even the handle sank in after the blade, and his bowels discharged. So like, hold on a second. What happens there is he stabs this king, this fat king, with this sword, and not only does the sword get lunged into his belly and like absorb into his like grossness and his fat, which is really weird and gross and disgusting. I don't even want to think about that. But not only does that happen, but the king also like poops himself. Like his bowels just, I mean, it probably was disgusting. In my mind, I think diarrhea. I hope I don't lose you guys there because this story just gets even better. But super gross, super disgusting, super weird how the fat like absorbs into this guy. Just really bizarre. You're like, why? Like, how is God even in this? I don't even know what's going on. But then Ehud went out to the porch. He shut the doors of the upper room behind him and locked them. So he made like a quick escape. He's like an assassin. It's really cool. After he had gone, and this is where it gets really funny, the servants came and found the doors of the upper room locked. They said he must be relieving himself in the inner room of the palace. So they literally thought he was like taking a poop because it probably smelled really bad. And they're just like, we can't go in there. The door's locked. The king wants his privacy. Like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's having some tough times on the toilet because he's fat. I don't know what they were thinking. So they literally think he's relieving himself. They say they waited to the point of embarrassment. They're like, man, we just have to go in. But when he did not open the doors of the room, they took a key and unlocked them. There they saw their lord fallen to the floor dead. I don't even want to know how disgusting he probably looked. While they waited, Ehud got away. He passed by the stone images and escaped to Sariah. When he arrived there, he blew a trumpet in the hills, in the hill country of Ephraim, and the Israelites went down with him from the hills, with him, leading them. Follow me, he ordered. Follow me, he ordered, for the Lord has given Moab your enemy into your hands. So they followed him down and took possession of the fords of the Jordan. That led to Moab, then allowed no one to cross over the river. At that time they struck down about 10,000 Moabites, all vigorous and strong. Not one escaped. That day Moab was made subject to Israel, and the land had peace for 80 years. Guys, I love these stories, and I hope that if you get anything out of these messages, that you are just encouraged, like highly encouraged to just read the Bible. Guys, there's stories like this all over the Bible, and they are incredible to read. Some of them are funny, some of them are weird, some of them are just downright dark and confusing. But guys, I promise you, if you dive into them and you look for God, you will find him in the pages. You will find him written all over them, and you will see that he's not just working on the forefront of everything that he's doing, but he's working in the background as well. And it's truly awesome. So yeah, I hope you guys like this series. I hope you guys keep tuning in. We love you guys. I'll post some questions at the end of the video too. But just how awesome is it that God was behind all of this, that he not only delivered the Israelites from this, but he answered them immediately. He sent someone, and guys, he brought them peace too, and he just reminded them, hey, I consistently love you. I'm consistently with you to the very end, you know. So I love you guys. Hope you guys stay safe out there. Keep washing your hands. Can't wait to see you guys again soon. Peace.